this is fucking froze up again. Oh, there it goes. Boy. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Chris Wood here. I hope everybody is having a good holiday, and I hope everybody has a good Christmas holiday, whatever you're celebrating. After 3.5 years of being injured, tortured, kidnapped, sex assaulted, medically blacklisted, medical discriminations and treatment refusals, skull split, being seriously brain injured, lung damage, kidney damage, this is done to me. I am a revenge, retaliation, identity theft, identity change victim, which I have shown, which I have proven. I am a revenge retaliation victim from Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police for speaking of their crimes since 2019. Before ex-O.P.P chief or commander left in 2019, he and somebody in a black truck at my previous address had me shot with something. It wasn't a bullet, but I was shot with something from them. And it went into my right ear, and I started having problems ever since. Prior to that, I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in almost 7 to 10 years approximately. And then I get shot in the ear after me speaking police crimes, and after Spencer Mills 14716 shows up at my door with a guy from mental health to basically let me know if I did not stop talking about what was happening, there'd be serious consequences, either jail or mental health, and he was right. Stalking by Billy Wooldridge, one known as Billy Wooldridge. I would go out. Every time I would go out, he was always right there. He used to live at 34 Water Street. I would go out, he was always right there. Every time I would move, he would go by my house, sometimes 12 hours a day, when he wasn't actually stalking my mother as well and calling her mom. He was using remote narrow monitoring on my mother for invasive surveillance, and because of it, with my mother's age and the EMFs and radiation from it, it caused tumors in my mother, and it caused cancer, and it caused her death, and it was with intent. She was murdered by Blair Hardy and Billy Wooldridge through O.P.P, Spencer Mills, and Stacey, mental health worker, that they told Billy Wooldridge that he and I were switched at birth. And he also thinks that he is my dad, but the fucking idiot, we're no relation in any way, shape, or form, but the fucking idiot also thinks that he is Harry Potter as well. I am the end of my bloodline. I am a revenge, retaliation, human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, false arrest, kidnap, sodomy victim through O.P.P, through Blair Hardy, through Billy Wooldridge of 149 Center Street North, who is a Harvard wanted sex offender. He is untouchable and unarrestable. I have proven it 100%. The obstructions of O.P.P. They even have a justice of the peace to make accusations against victims to aid in obstructing with arrests because it involves O.P.P, because it involves Billy Wooldridge, and because it involves Blair Hardy. It involves Tyler Lake and Jason Van Alstyne. I have not had any feeling or stimulation in my damn head or my face now for approximately 2.5, 3 months. I go through deforming constantly, and right now as I'm doing this, the whole right side of my head is completely and totally numb. I have no feeling whatsoever. I could put earbuds in or headphones on and blare my music and I would not feel anything. I would hear it but not feel it. So mentally, I have been, they fucked the right side of my head and now they're going after my left to completely and totally fuck me, so I have total memory loss. The ones that are doing this, I'm being played as a fiddle while I'm being fucking deformed and going through identity theft and changes, which I have shown and proven on a daily basis. I have been having remote neural monitoring being used on me by these pieces of shit for 3.5 years now while going through this. And once again, Blair Hardy, I was sold. I was sold by O.P.P for their revenge through these pieces of shit. They're using their psychotic inmates, they're using fucking psych ward patients, and they're using drug-fed, money-paid co-offenders. O.P.P are bringing in other fucking cops from elsewhere and acting like they are here from Napanee. And they're false arresting people. They're falsely charging fucking people. O.P.P conveniently has two cops by the same name of Jones. One has black hair, one has fucking red hair. So they're using fake cops as well. They're falsely arresting their victims to deflect their crimes so they can justify what they're doing in an attempt to criminalize their fucking victims, i.e. me, through the hospital, through the doctors. That was in an attempt so you could get the rest of what you needed, my pictures, my prints, my signatures, my tattoos for this identity theft, for the forgeries, framings, and frauds against me. Isn't that right, you pieces of shit? I have been seriously deformed. I feel nothing left of myself. Only Blair Hardy broadcasting through me right now from this, especially on my fucking whole right side. My head goes flat to round. It's been elongated. No matter how much I have shown and proven anything, I cannot do anything about it. So they get away with this because it's for O.P.P, because it's for Hell's Angels, Billy Wooldridge, and Bandito Blair Hardy, who happens to be Spencer Mills's boyfriend. Co-drug trafficker. He is guilty of raping a woman named Olivia before she died. Here in this building where I live, not this apartment, but this building down the hall from me. He is the one lacing the drugs to sell them to commit murder, to make it look like just another drug addict bought bad drugs and overdose, but it's being done with intent. Half the cops now conveniently are being transferred because of to avoid arrest and lawsuits not only against themselves but against their precinct, their stations. Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills, 14716, now allegedly in Orillia. There is Staff Sergeants, years 2019 and 2021, sodomy, sex assault, and aiding Shelley Hafner in kidnapping. The ex-chief or commander, like I said, year 2019. And then there is also Shannon CORK, who laughed in my face when I told her to arrest her boss, Billy Wooldridge, when he walked by, and she told me to file a report, knowing it would have done no good. It would have been burnt up, tore up. As he went on to, as after she laughed in my face, as he went on to stalk and murder my mother, and she knew exactly what was going to happen. There is Robert Can Fuck, Can Kill, Can Get Away With It, Money Badge Family, Town Council Lucas, 100% right, and the guy lives about 50 feet from my back door. There's Robert Kane, conveniently him and Spencer Mills are drug cops. So they have the access to feed Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, and Jabin Alstein all the drugs that they want and need while they are doing this to me. I have prisoner tracking on me. I was kidnapped May 27, 2021, and forced to give up my blood and piss. And then conveniently, Shelley Hafner left with Staff Sergeant after they found out what they'd done. 24 hours after me asking for help with arrest and charging against them, which I've been trying to do for 3 years now. This has been taking place with me for 3.5 years. So, this is how people are being fucking murdered. You are mentally destroying people's brains using remote neural monitoring on them, having people broadcast through another person 24/7 while giving them serious fucking brain injury and body mutilations, and then you are committing identity theft, and I have shown and proven what has been taking place with me. This is how O.P.P traffic, this is how they frame, and this is how they are murdering their victims. And like I said, half of the police now involved are transferring to avoid lawsuits and arrest against themselves and against the station. There is also a woman named Stacey. She is mental health and addictions worker. She has blonde hair. She works here, or did work here in Napanee, a daily tea company, and now she's in Kingston, where there is more people for more victims. And there is Shelley Hafner, who has to answer for my kidnapping under her bullshit incompetency lies through Judge Chappelle signing me off on this to get me kidnapped using a judge from Kingston to do it. Being falsely arrested by the hospital to give me a record in an attempt to give me a record to justify the crimes against me. They've done everything to try to try to discredit me. There's been lies against me about long psychological records in history and not true in any way, shape, or form. Lies against me about long criminal records in history, not true in any way, shape, or form. And it damn well needs to be proven, the ones that cast that lie, and it was done to get me so I would not get medical help and not be taken serious about what has taken place with me and by whom, how, and why. Revenge retaliation for me speaking of their crimes, the homeless human trafficking and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain out of the Morning Star mission and other crimes here. So, and this is why this started. They're pedophiles. They're guilty of human sex trade, slavery, trafficking. They're using R&M because it enables invasive surveillance and passing it around to pedophiles, and they are using it on your children. They're using it. Sex offenders are using it on adults. And the sad fact is a lot might not even be aware of it. They sit back and they use this on children while they masturbate or they do whatever, because it also involves invasive, like I said, broadcasting physically over top a person like a dead damn hologram and inside of people. This is how I am going through my identity theft and changes from all of these people when they're using it on me. I get hypoxia constantly, daily, from being broadcasted through. No feeling in my fucking head, in my face while I'm being deformed, not being able to do a damn thing about it because it's through O.P.P. They have a justice of the peace here to make accusations once again to prevent arrest on anyone. They have Dr. Tatiana V, aka Margie V, Stacy's girlfriend, medical blacklister, file falsifier, and the one that also gives medical information and files away to her girlfriend Stacy, who conveniently gave also to O.P.P. Isn't that right, Spencer Mills? You were in possession of my original CAT scans from 2019, while I was given fake ones. So, you had my fucking skull split. I have shown it. I have proven it. It's been shortened, widened, elongated, flattened, rounded, and everything else in between. But like I said, you use this tech on people to mentally fuck them up in hopes that they go crazy, in hopes that they will look crazy. You've done everything to try to justify this crime against me. You've been going that route. You went the drug route. I do not do drugs. I am against them, and everybody knows me, knows I am against them. I've lost too many friends and family from it, and I myself, back in 2012, overdosed on what was called Dilaudid. So I have and want nothing to do with any drugs in any way, shape, or form for myself. Smoke pot, THC, CBD, all that stuff, that's fine. But anything, not even pills, nothing even synthetic, I want nothing to do with it. I'm getting right now what feels like air being pumped through my head, and I'm showing all the changes and deforming that's been happening to me. If I could actually go to a hospital and actually get checked out instead of having doctors come in and say, take your hat off, your hat fits, okay, you're fine. They obviously are psychic and they can internally tell what is taking place with me. I've been called a retard by Dr. Waldron, been told that I'm crazy, can't fix that. I've been laughed in my face over sex assault by Dr. Barton. He even as much as told me he'll never do anything to help me until I see a psychiatrist, and I'd still like to know what that is based on. Oh, right, that's based on Stacey's lies through Tatiana to get me medically blacklisted. And you're going on it, along with Dr. Pritchard, along with Dr. McGregor, along with triage's nurses Terry, Tanya, and David, Paladin security guard, right up to administration, Wayne Cubbyduck, and Sarah Fiddler, who had me kicked out, causing me serious harm, preventing me my medical rights, and that was also an attempt to cover up crimes, because once again, me wanting doctors arrested and charged, along with police, along with Billy Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, and Jabin Alstein, not only for my identity theft, but for the injuries that could be proven. Like I said, this has been going on for 3.5 years, and I am being completely and totally numbed. And the longer this goes on, the more I'm going to be deformed, and I am going to be taken as this piece of shit because not only will I have memory loss, but they will be completely finished. Well, this bastard is sitting back getting away with it. Like I said, he is a Harvard wanted sex offender, and he is alleged Hells Angels boss, Ontario chapter. He's highly psychotic. He's fucking delusional. And he is guilty of murdering my mother with Blair Hardy using the exact same thing on her. So, anybody thinks that identity thefts and changes cannot happen, I've shown it and proven it. And it's compliments of the police. They are guilty of murder and missing, the human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery, trafficking, frauds, framings, financial thefts and frauds with their inmates and the rest of these bastards that they're using here and getting away with it, unsuspecting. Isn't that right, you pieces of fucking shit garbage? And I'm not taking a fall for Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge, or anybody else because of this being done to me. You're guilty of doing this to me. You're guilty of mentally fucking me up. You're guilty of murdering my mother, and you're guilty of murdering the Wood bloodline. If I could get to the hospital and get an MRI or get tests done or something to prove brainwave, it would certainly show a lot of fucking damage internally done to me, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I have to put up with what is happening to me. Nobody is arrestable in Napanee except for O.P.P victims. And then they fucking stalk and they buy time. They lie. They use their badges, positions, their false guise of law. Anybody that's had any involvement with O.P.P, fight it because they are guilty of false arrest. They're guilty of domestic terrorism. They're guilty, obviously, of my identity theft through the R&M, giving it to their pieces of shit for Pontius Pilate murders. And then they fucking transfer after they buy a lot of time getting people medically blacklisted until the point of the identity thefts and everything else are done, mentally and injuring fucking victims. Good going. Good fucking going. One way or another, you will answer and pay for this, you pieces of shit. I am Chris Wood, and I am an identity theft revenge retaliation victim from Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North. That's his last known used name. Approximately 70 bald glasses. Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jabin Alstein, Ray Ray, his roommate Sam, Michelle Irish, Holly Carlisle, Isaac, Robert Barry, Bucktooth Bob. They're all guilty of doing this. A woman on the corner of Center and Thomas Street. Side door entrance is a crack shack. She is involved using this on me as well with Curtis and Sarah as well. They're using this on me. You're all guilty of attempted murder and fucking doing this to me. You're putting your feces and your piss through my fucking body as well. I'm being treated like a human toilet and not a damn thing I can fucking do about it. I'm internally being decayed by their piss and shit and exactly everything else that's taken place with me. I'm getting air pumped through my fucking head right now. And alls I see when I'm doing this is fucking Tyler Lake, a little pissant piece of shit, and he's also guilty with his woman, Holly Carlisle, of causing serious harm and damage to my dog, Runt, as well. Causing trying to kill my dog. Tyler Lake, Jason fucking Van Alstyne, you piece of shit goof, Blair Hardy, and Billy Wooldridge. And conveniently, none of them are arrestable, and I have proven it and can prove it 100%. They got too many people to help cover their crimes. Be safe, everybody. Remember, families murdered missing, it's the police. Human trafficking, it's the police. And they're inmate junkies who they will not fucking touch no matter how much you can prove anything. It's the justice of the peace that prevents arrest on them all, so they all get away with their crimes right here in Napanee. The doctors that criminally aid and co-commit covering crimes up for them. This is why they're so successful and not being arrested for their crimes, and also how they're being covered up and how they're getting out of lawsuits, how they're framing fucking innocent people to take falls for one that harbors sex offenders and pedophiles. Nice fucking going, O.P.P, the police you think you know. I'm Christopher Wood, not Billy Wooldridge, not Blair Hardy, but I am an identity theft change victim and I have shown it and proven it. And the longer this goes on, I am going to be seriously, seriously fucked even more. So be safe, everybody. Watch yourselves, watch your children, watch your finances. This is about identity theft and financial theft as well. They steal pensions, they steal disabilities, they steal welfare, they collect at false addresses as well. There's a lot of fucking crime in this town, and it's being done through the police and these pieces of shit who conveniently are untouchable no matter what you can prove. So be safe. Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jabin Alstein, and Billy Wooldridge, you will answer for this, you fucking pieces of shit. I'm 50 years old. Blair Hardy is what, 65? Jabin Alstein is what, 40? Tyler Lake's approximately 30, 35, if that. Blair Hardy or Billy Wooldridge is in his 70s, 72, 73 years old. And I have shown and proven where my fucking skull was split, and that was done when I was being prevented from help when I was falsely charged to keep me away from the hospital for almost 9 months. Be safe, everybody. This is the O.P.P you think you know. This is what happens when you speak police crimes right here in Napanee. You get stalked, you get your mother murdered, you get lies, you get time buying, you get cover-ups, and you go through identity thefts, you get kidnapped, you get sodomized, you get medically blacklisted, and you get deformed. You go through identity theft, you get prisoner tracking put on you, you get R&M used on you to cause memory loss, to mentally fuck you up, and to physically deform you through EMFs and radiation while being broadcasted through slowly to change you. Nice fucking going, O.P.P, and you pieces of shit. Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, and Jabin Alstein, you will be fucking arrested and I will see you in prison in handcuffs, you fucking low-life garbage. Be safe, everybody. one way or another, you will answer and pay for this, you fucking pieces of shit.